I like to start all of my workouts, even on my split training right now, with a heavy barbell exercise to start. Of course, I did throw pull-ups into this little mix so that you guys can see that, because I always actually superset my bench press with weighted pull-ups, just the way I train. But examples you'll see through this, because I have a chest and back day, then I have a shoulder and posterior chain day, have an arm day, and then I have a leg day. So you'll see through this video examples of what I'm doing in this one. These were the first sets from the respective workouts this week, or the week that I recorded this. This might not be up for a month. So what you'll see me doing here, I start with a really wide grip flat back pause bench press. All right, again, fantastic chest builder, big fan of it. Of course, you'll see me do weighted pull-ups after. For the posterior chain, I do a deficit deadlift. On the arm day, I like to start it with a closed grip bench press for triceps before going to extensions. And then on the squat day, you'll see me doing some high bar pause squats. So the question becomes, why do I like to start with a big barbell movement? Mainly because it's a basic exercise. I've always believed that barbells should be the foundation of our training. I'm a big fan of basic barbell movements. Now, I'm not saying that we don't need to do other stuff. I obviously do isolation work and everything in these same workouts, curls, lateral raises, even sissy squats and things for quads. So we do all those things, but I think the thing to remember is that, the foundation of lifting is always done originally with barbells. This is how training has been done historically. And it's because the loadable barbell represents the most elegant tool we've ever had for resistance training, strength training, weight training, because it gives us an ability to do large multi-joint exercises in a way to where we don't have to do too much side-to-side balancing. Usually the balancing is only in one plane, right? Because of the way that we hold onto the bars. And then they can be micro-loaded extremely easily. So that's one of the important factors here. Barbells allow us to do very small changes and to load the weight incrementally. So because of this, and because we can work all of these major muscles, this brings a lot to the table. The other reason I like to pick these classic lifts or close variations of them for our base training for our first exercise is because of the popularity due to powerlifting and other strength sports. These exercises have enormous, absolutely enormous and ridiculous amounts of coaching data available, because so many people have built massive, elite, powerful lifts and strength on these exercises. The data that we have on performing these exercises, how to do them safely, how to do different things with them, how to modify them to do what we're wanting to do, the data pool is absolutely monstrous just in the coaching world. So because of that, even if other exercises were equal to these, this is the point I'm going to make, even if they're equal, these have the advantage purely because of that, by doing these big basic exercises that are done with a barbell. Okay, because of the knowledge base and experience base that exists on them. Okay, that's a big factor. How about another factor? The fact that we have tons of research on these exercises. They have been studied at universities and by researchers ad nauseum. Because of their popularity in strength sports, powerlifting, and things like that, they're some of the most classic exercises that have been done the longest time. Therefore, we have enormous amounts of data. The other thing to think about is the fact of, even when you have people who are like, well, I don't like these and they're not necessary for bodybuilding. But the reality is, when you look at even bodybuilding traditionally, how many of the greatest body champions generation after generation after generation use these exercises as part of their base building? I'm going to go out on a limb and say the majority did. Was it 100% of them? No. But the majority, including many of the greatest Mr. Olympia winners. So again, people can't use that excuse, well, they're not necessary. Well, they may not be necessary, but they're still dang good exercises. And that being said, again, people need to keep in mind, I usually train about 3 different exercises per muscle group. So again, I'm not saying these exercises are, of course, the be-all, end-all, right? They're definitely not. So even for chest, after I bench press, like currently, I like to do incline bench afterwards, and then I like to do dumbbell flies after, right? So we're doing other stuff. Same thing, triceps. I do 2 different types of extensions after the close grip benching, so that we can work the long head and other stuff better. So obviously we want to come through. So when I make these statements, people are like, so you're saying these are all we need to do or all we should do? And it's like, no, that's simply not true at all. They're good for part of our base building. They will put a lot of size on us, a lot of strength on us. And I do think people should care about being strong. Now, that little minor point aside, we can do variations of these also that help us build muscle more effectively. I mean, perfect example, look at what you see me doing with some of these barbell lifts. I tailor them kind of based upon what I'm trying to do sometimes. So a lot of times I like to do those deficit deadlifts. Why? Because they put us into a longer range of motion, a deeper stretch. When I want to build chest, on my chest days, I do a very wide grip bench with a flat back, pause on every rep. On the tricep day, I'll do a close grip and do it touch and go. Squats, again, we can change the variations a little. We can do pause squats, deep pause squats if we want to make sure that we're stretching the quads more. So we can do a lot of things with these. So people need to understand, even when we're talking about these lifts, even for hypertrophy like this, doesn't mean you have to do the exact powerlifting versions of them. And then, of course, after you do these, and we would do all of our other work. You fill in the gaps. So when I'm talking about putting these at the start of a program and saying they're a great way, and this is how I personally prefer to start programs, this is what I do for most of my clients, not all, but most of them, again, on a need-to-need basis. But then we do all of our other work, right? We do all of our different curls, our preacher curls, our lateral raises, our quad and hamstring exercises, our small ones, our calf work, whatever it is that we need to do, right? Whatever it is that we need to do. Because again, then we need to fill out the rest of our physique, the rest of our musculature, bring up weak links, make sure that every muscle is getting work from a couple different angles. Because that is important also. If you want a muscle to maximally grow, it's a good idea to work it from a couple different angles. And if a muscle has multiple functions, you should probably be training those different functions. Okay, it would help you in quite a bit. Again, just in reaching your overall goals. So that is why I start a workout with them, even if I'm going to do a lot of other stuff, even if it's a bodybuilding routine. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.